Hey there, thanks for stopping by. My name's Jason Wheeler, and today I'm going to help you blow up your website with Pinterest marketing. So in this video we're going to be covering 3 strategies that you can use in order of 3, 2, 1. So make sure you stick with me to the end so you don't miss the number 1 strategy that you can use to grow your Pinterest following and get thousands of visitors to your website every single month very quickly. So strategy number 3, inviting images for your pins that are going to entice people to actually click on them and then visit your website. So let's go ahead and jump on the computer here and I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so one of the big things that you need to start out with when you're talking about making a pin for Pinterest is the rules about the image sizes. Now this is actually from Pinterest.com and it'll tell you right down here, good image size 1000 pixels wide by 1500 pixels tall. If you want to look into this more, you can just search image size Pinterest 2020. Read all about it. We won't spend much time on that, but a 2 to 3 aspect ratio, and it gives you a few different options here. I always go with the 1000 by 1500 myself. Now, the next thing, we're going to be using Canva. If you're not familiar with Canva, it's an online design software that is free. There is a paid version for it, but the free option works fantastic. And if you just type in Pinterest pin, you'll notice they already know that it needs to be 1000 by 1500 pixels. Now when you come in here, you're going to have a ton of pre-designed templates by professional web designers. I mean, look at this stuff. This is amazing. You have some GIFs here. You can do videos, and Pinterest actually does allow video now. That gets a pretty high engagement, because just like any other platform, as they introduce new aspects, they they give those new features priority in their algorithms over some of their older stuff, just to promote it and get people to use the new technology that they're trying to implement into their platform. So go ahead, pick out any of these templates that you like and mess around with them. Drop your own image in. Let's just go ahead and grab this one here. Click on that. It's going to open that right up. And the beauty of this Canva here is that you're going to be able to go to photos and you're going to be able to search, let's say, a bride and groom kissing. Okay, let's just grab this, and you're gonna, now you'll notice this says pro. This is part of the paid. You can, a subscription, I believe it's $15 a month. You can still use this image, just drag and drop it. It's gonna place it on there. Generally it would place it on there with a watermark if you don't have the pro, and you'd have to pay for it when you go to download it. Or you can simply put in a filter for free. Now I only want to see the free images. Okay, let's drag and drop this one. Double click, just drag that baby over, hit done. Look at that. That it looks like there's an overlay on that, so just click on this, click on transparency. No, filters, something's going on with this. Effects, yeah, it's got a brightness turned down on it. You get a lot of different options. I mean, look at that, crazy. how many options that you have with this software, and it's free. So use this. My suggestion to you is to come up with 3 templates for that match your colors for your brand. If you haven't come up with brand colors, you need to. I'm sure you probably already have for your website. Apply those colors from your website onto your pins. That way your pins are branded right along with your website. It's going to just make for a much more professional look. When somebody clicks on the pin, they go to the website, they feel like they're in the right place when they get to that website. And also, as they see more and more of your work, you're just building brand. Pick a color, pick a style. You might even use some of the fonts that you have on your website in your pins. So I like to make folders. I'll make a couple of folders. I'll show you what I've got here. If I just go home, I've got a Pinterest folder right here, and I've got a few different templates that I've just created on my own. I've used some of those templates and then modified them. I modified them to my own needs, or however I thought it looked best. And another really good tip is just use a few different templates with your colors and see which ones perform better. Over time, over months and months, you're going to start to get data. You're going to be able to look at your analytics in your Pinterest account, and you're going to be able to see what's working, what's not working. So that, and as time goes on, if you notice, hey, every time, regardless of the the title that's on the pin, or regardless of the image that's on the pin, this template, this style of pin that I'm using is just tending overall to get more engagement, more clicks, and you will see that. For me, this guy right here, this Wedding C template, I will have some of the exact same titles, exact same article that it's linking to, same image, everything. The only thing different is the overlay. Say, get our wife of the party design on Etsy right here. Let's say I had that same exact thing, only in this overlay. I am telling you, I would get more clicks on this one simply because people like that overlay better. It entices them to click on that pin and visit my site simply because of the overlay. Title's the same, underlying image is exactly the same. They're clicking on this template almost every time. I get that from data in my analytics on my Pinterest account. You can look across my pins and see which one's performing the best, and just start to use that one as your brand. Otherwise, continue to use all 3. I've seen a lot of fluctuation, but mostly I've been able to hone in on one that works really well. And strategy number 2 is having good SEO, good search engine optimization. Just like Google needs a lot of information about an article on your website to know what it's about, so that it can serve that article to somebody who's searching for that content. Pinterest needs to know information about your image, your pin, so that it knows everything that pin is about. So when somebody searches for that type of content, it can associate that pin to their search and actually serve that pin, your pin, to that person. So let's go ahead and jump back on the computer, and I'll walk through a couple of things that Pinterest is looking for in your pin so that it can understand what that pin's about. Okay, so let's talk SEO. This here is one of my Pinterest accounts, and this is for a website called Smartest Brides that my wife and I started up a while back, and this is the account for that site. Now let's just go ahead and I don't know, pick a board, we'll grab a pen, and we'll talk about some of the different aspects of that pin as far as it relates to SEO. Alright, seating chart and place card ideas. Alright, so what do we have here as far as SEO is concerned? We have a title, we have a description, and this is the same thing, the description and some hashtags. So those are essentially the three things that Pinterest is looking for as far as SEO is concerned. They also can read the Pinterest platform can also read text on images as well, and understand what's in the image. But aside from that, the main things that you're going to focus on is going to be your titles, your description, and your hashtags. Now, if you let's pop over here, and this is a fantastic way to organize your pins SEO. So what do we have here? This is my board 1, pin 1, the title, and I generally, because these pins are leading right to articles on our websites, I just take the title from the website, the title of that article on the website, and make that my title. Sometimes I will change it up just slightly if I think that I can just tweak it a little bit and make it a little more clickable. But usually I've already done all that heavy lifting when I created the article. So that's the beauty of this, is we're going to be able to use some of what the work we've already put in and apply it right into the pin that we're creating. So copy and paste your title from your article, and copy perhaps the first paragraph from your article and put it right into your description, and you know, any section you think best describes what that article's about, and usually that's going to be the first paragraph from your article. You know, what would go into your metadata. Now, some of the key words that we're going to use in reference to the traditional Christian ceremony script for officiant, wedding, short, Christian, romantic, ideas, outline, modern, unique. Okay, and you can see we're putting them right in our hashtags right down here. We're just gathering good keywords so that we can put them into our description and our hashtags. Okay, you're gonna use your, like I said, generally first paragraph from your article, whatever you would put in your metadata, right in here, and then you can switch it up, find ways to insert a few of these keywords and then stick them into your hashtags. The descriptions, you need to keep the descriptions as far as characters go, I would say usually between 50 to 75 or 80 words. Right in that range is what I shoot for, and that includes your hashtags. You know, there is a limit on characters in the descriptions for Pinterest for pins, and this is just a really good way to structure every single pin, track every single pin and what board it's in, and we also give it a tag of pin P1, and it's just a really streamlined process. Also, this is really great if you're going to be outsourcing this work to a VA like I do. You know, you just come in here and they have a worksheet. They can say, okay, here's the article, this is the pin that I need to make, I need a title, I need keywords, and they can use the article and construct the description with the hashtags. Now, I'm not going to go into depth on how to put all of this, how to get the right keywords. I'll make another video on that, and I will link that down in the description. I'm going to make a whole playlist on Pinterest SEO, whole playlist on creating good pins, pin images with overlays. I'm going to go a lot more in depth with the number one strategy, which I'm about to show you here in a minute. And I'm just trying to give you a good overview of what you need to do. So I'll put links in the description as I make more videos on specifically how to go about doing those things. Okay, so now you know a good overview of SEO as far as pins go in Pinterest. So that brings us to strategy number 1, the best strategy that you can use to get thousands of visitors every single month from Pinterest. You ready? Drum roll, please. Consistency. That's it. Consistency. Just like Google sends you monthly visitors, Pinterest sends you monthly views. So a really easy way to track how well you're doing on Pinterest is as soon as you log into your Pinterest account, it's going to give you this big old number right up front and say how many monthly views that your pins are getting. Now, obviously, the main goal here is to get people actually clicking on your pins and generating website visitors, but a good easy way to track how well you're doing on Pinterest is how many views that you're getting every single month. So if you're consistent over time, you're going to see your monthly views go up and up and up. You're going to probably hit some plateaus for a little while, stay consistent, and you'll see another spike, another growth curve, and you'll start to see those monthly views grow. As soon as you are not consistent with your pinning strategy, you are going to see those monthly views diminish very quickly.
Where did everybody go?
That is a huge thing with Pinterest. You have to be constantly pinning in order to gain everything that you're going to want to gain out of Pinterest, in order to get those thousands of visitors hitting your website every single month from Pinterest. You have to be consistent. Luckily for you and I, there's an amazing tool that allows you to put your pinning strategy, your pinning process on autopilot. It's an amazing tool. It's a game changer. It's a game changer. I spend probably about 3 to 4 hours every 3 months on my Pinterest strategy. And it's on autopilot. Every 90 days, I have to log in and spend about 4 hours, 3 to 4 hours, and on my Pinterest strategy, and that's it. Set it, forget it. So let's go ahead and go back to the computer, and I'll walk you through this amazing tool that's going to allow you to generate these thousands of website visitors every month from Pinterest on autopilot. Okay, now let's talk about the number one strategy that you can use to grow your following and, most of all, visitors to your website from Pinterest. And that is the consistency. The consistency with automation. So, without further ado, I give you Tailwind. Now, if you are not familiar with Tailwind, it is a third-party software that is completely in alignment with the guidelines of Pinterest. It is deemed by Pinterest as a usable tool. It's not against any of their terms of service to use this tool. There's nothing scammy or skeezy about it. It's just a really amazing tool. They have they use Pinterest API in conjunction with the software, and they make sure that what they're doing is completely within the terms of service of Pinterest. Now, what this is going to allow you to do is to put all of your pinning on autopilot. So, as a goal, you want to get to anywhere between 20 to 30 pins per day on Pinterest to get everything that you're going to want to get out of Pinterest algorithm. You need to try to work your way towards somewhere between that 20. If you can hit 30 pins per day, that's great. Now, that's a lot of work. If you're manually pinning 30 pins every single day, 7 days a week, that is an insane amount of work. That's why this tool is so invaluable. And I'm not going to go over all the ins and outs of how to use Tailwind with Pinterest in this video. I'm going to just give you the overview. I'm going to make an entire playlist on integrating Tailwind with Pinterest and best practices and how to go about getting everything that you can out of Tailwind with Pinterest. But just know that this software right here, this tool, Tailwind, is a game changer when it comes to Pinterest. So, like I said before, I spend about 3 to 4 hours every 90 days on this. Okay? And then I'm pinning right around 30 pins per day, every single day, 7 days a week, and it requires 3 to 4 hours of my time every 90 days, or a 3 to 4 hours of a VA's time if that's what you're looking to do. So, just a little quick rundown on it. Tailwind will go to your Pinterest account. You create a Tailwind account. This is a paid subscription model software. It runs right now, I believe, is $15 a month, and it's worth every penny. You integrate your Pinterest account with your Tailwind account, and then it gives Tailwind access to your Pinterest. Now, what it can do is it has a nice little Chrome extension right here. If you use Chrome, which you definitely should be, and what you'll do is you'll just click into one of your boards. This board, as you can see, has 30 pins in it. This is 1 day worth of pins. And what I would do is I would hit this extension. It's going to open up in a new window. And I'm just going to go through and pick all these pins. And I would go right down and pick all of them, and it shows you right here, note that I had 30 pins in that board. So I would just, as I'm going through clicking like crazy, I would just quick double check that, make sure that I have 30 selected, because you'll miss one or 10 almost every time that you go through this, and you'll go to schedule. And what this is doing is, if you look at Tailwind and you go to Publisher, they have scheduled pins and draft pins. What this does essentially is it takes all those pins that you just selected, and then it dumps them into your drafts. Okay, and what you're going to do is you're going to select a board, or what I do is I have a top 5 boards. Hit that, and it automatically populates all 5 of those boards in every one of those pins. So it's saying, okay, we're going to pin these pins to every one of these boards. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use an interval of 18 days, and I'm just going to go through and schedule all these out on a certain day with 18 days in between. That's going to be first day. It's going to schedule them to this smartest wedding board, and 18 days later it's going to go to the next one, and 18 days later the next one after that. That is just like I said, a quick overview of this tool. I'm not going to go too far into exactly every way to use it and how I track all of my pins. That's a whole nother series of videos. But just know that this is labor up front to get this implemented. It is. But once you've got it, you've got an asset that's going to be bringing thousands of visitors to your website every single month. And once it's finally set up, you only have to invest 3, 4, or more if you want to invest more time. But minimum 3 to 4 hours every 3 months on this stuff. Once you do the upfront work of getting it set up, it's amazing. So that's it. That's the number one tool, number one strategy that I use and that you should be using if you're serious about getting people from Pinterest onto your website. This is a really great way to do it, and you know, our most valuable asset that we have is our time. So where do you want your time to be spent? Actually logging into Pinterest every single day for, you know, an hour or more every single day? I got better things to do with my time. So you know, I'm sure that you do too. So that's Tailwind integrated with Pinterest. Like I said, I'm gonna do a series of videos on all these different things, breaking them down, exactly how to do it, and I'll link those in the descriptions below. So there you have it. 3 awesome strategies that you can start using to generate thousands of visitors to your website every single month from Pinterest. Now, if you're still here, hopefully that's a good sign that I have provided tons of value for you and I've helped you out. I would ask you to help me in return by hitting the like button below and subscribing to my channel so that I can continue to provide more value for you. Now, if you have found a ton of value from this video, let me know in the comments below. If you hated it, let me know in the comments below. I don't know why the hell you're still here watching this video at this point if you hated it, but let me know. I can take it. I look forward to seeing you on the next video. See ya.